Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Good evening to every single one of you. Thank you for joining once again on the channel to catch the videos wherever you're watching from. I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you guys so much for all the support that we have been rallying from the start of the AFCON to the final moment yesterday. Thank you guys a lot for all your support, for all the comments, all the ideas that you brought about, as to how we could, make our Super Eagles play better and obviously win the trophy yesterday. But sadly enough, it was not going to be our trophy, in the end. We did all we could do, but it was not fated that we were going to be the ones to lift the trophy. And of course, there's just one thing to do, and it's to move on and, replace the regrets with appreciations and acceptance of what has happened. Obviously, because I know that we have a lot of arguments, a lot of things to say about how they played, how they didn't play well, how Aina, of course, didn't turn up well, made a lot of mistakes, possibly was scared because of the big occasion. Zaidu, of course, and as well Nwabali. He wasn't exactly himself. He made quite a few mistakes, which, we got punished for. But, there are lots of positives from the Nigerian Super Eagles, run in this AFCON, and it's been something really wonderful to see. And of course, if not for anything, the fact that we've obviously discovered Nwabali is something to be thankful for the Nigerian Super Eagles, for us, because we know it's been a very hectic, dramatic search for a goalkeeper throughout the years. We've been looking for a goalkeeper that will live up to standards, at least that would, give us that confidence, like Inyama, gave us many years ago. So even not for anything, Stanley Nwabali is one of the players that we have discovered. Obviously, he has a future with the country, and we're so proud that, he came out of this whole thing. And of course, we are runners-up. I don't want to talk too much about the match because it will pain you to kind of revoke that feeling of pain from the match, because obviously it's just so sad. It's sad. I don't want to talk about it much, but kudos to the guys. They tried, every single one of them, and none of them deserves any sort of cyberbullying or of any sort, really, because a number of them now have been, subject to cyberbullying. Iwobi being one of them, and it's not nice at all, because, when we as the fans, Nigerians, start to bully some of these players, Iwobi, for example, who has now been forced to delete his Instagram, the pictures of his Instagram, just leaving only one that, has to do with Fulham. Then it means that we don't appreciate these guys. We don't even give them the confidence, the trust to, for them to actually perform at the top level. This is one of the reasons that we don't have a lot of our, senior players, experienced players in the national team. Remember, Gallo is one of the players, one of the many players that, decided not to play for Nigeria again because of this cyberbullying. And of course, I don't see any reason why this should be the case. We have to move on, really, and look for, the positives, look for a way out, look for how to, be better in the future. So that's what it is. To be honest, I was kind of sad and confused, and I didn't even know how to come here and tell you guys, about the Nigerian Super Eagles or talk about anything, because it kind of felt like, everything just went crashing on the floor, and there wasn't really much to talk about. But of course, I've made quite a few posts. I think 2 posts thereabouts on the community tab, and of course, a lot of people, have shared comments that are really positive, which is what we need at this moment. With the players, of course, because you cannot pain us more than it pains the players themselves who lost the match. Because it was their chance at getting their names written in the history books. They were this close to having their name inscribed in the history books. So if anything, it pained them more than it pained us, maybe the fans. And, with out here, or maybe the journalists, covering the stories from their camp on the pitch. So that's the thing. Of course, a lot is still going on, and they're not really any good news. They're not very important because obviously we lost the big one. The few gist that I have for this video, obviously, it's still going to continue. We are still going to have to keep tracks and tabs on the Super Eagles, our players, the progressions, their achievements, and every single thing they do beyond the AFCON. So I'm definitely going to be on this channel. And thank you guys. Shout out to some of you, who actually, urged me to continue the content on the channel. It's really wonderful to hear that from, some of you. So the updates that's like at the top right now is whether or not the NFF are going to retain or keep or give new contract to coach Jose Peseiro. Of course, that the target that he was actually given before when he was employed was that he should at least get to the semi-finals of the AFCON. And this target, of course, Peseiro actually exceeded that target. He went to as far as the finals and only losing, in the finals. So if it's based on whether he merits the contract extension, he actually merited it because he crossed that semi-final. But again, the big question is Peseiro going to want to stay and extend his contract, and be the coach of the Nigerian Super Eagles going forward? That's another question. Remember one of the videos I posted in the last time where we talked about, where I let you guys know that Peseiro was actually, Peseiro was actually given a new contract to sign. I think 2 years contract by CAF. Sorry, not CAF, by NFF. I think that was when we got up, when we qualified from the group stages. He said that he refused to talk anything about contract with CAF or with the NFF because he didn't want to, channel his focus to talking about contract instead of planning on how to play the knockout stages with the team. So obviously, as the day goes by, we're going to know if Peseiro wants to sign a new contract, and if if NFF also wants to give him that contract, because he has to be both ways. NFF should want to give him the contract, and Peseiro will want to sign the contract. You cannot force him. If he decides that he wants to go somewhere else, then obviously there's nothing that can change his mind. But of course, if you ask me, I think that Peseiro is actually a decent coach. He's a coach that knows what he's doing. He believes in his ability, and he doesn't listen to outside talks. He is pragmatic. That's that. Peseiro is going to have to want to sign contracts before, there will be any possibility of him staying. But aside from Peseiro, guys, there's, just bits and pieces of updates coming out from that whole, sad event yesterday where we didn't win. Of course, Kenneth Omeruo is in the news, it's really sad. Everybody's sad. Some of the players even really cried yesterday. So it was no joke. It was no joke, to be honest. So Kenneth Omeruo expressed his disappointment, that, they didn't lift the trophy. They didn't bring it back home to Nigeria, because obviously they were really rooting for it. It meant a lot to them, but it just wasn't meant to be in the end. That's the fact. And of course, Musa, of course, really shattered. Of course, that, in my last video, I mentioned that Musa and Kenneth Omeruo will have set a new record of being the only players, in the national team to have lifted the trophy twice in the whole of Nigerian footballers, both past and present. So it would have been a very big one, of course. But of course, we move on, and then, all thanks to God. Other update, guys, I'll definitely just be keeping tracks on them. I don't even know how I made this video, but it's not really arranged. But as usual, thank you guys so much for tuning in to catch the video. I'll definitely, try and bring you guys update about Nigerian Super Eagles, positive updates, as well as the negative ones, of course, because life is filled with positives and negatives. But we'll generally just, want to use this community to try and bring our players up, uplift, say good things, pass good comments, and bring ideas together about how our players can really, grow and become, better, or become represented in the best light. That's the video, guys. Thank you for catching this one. I appreciate every single one of you guys, all the subscribers of the channel. Big ups to all of you. We are nearly 2,000 now, and thanks to all of you, honestly. And then I want to urge you guys to stay tuned, stick around, guys. We will definitely have, a tomorrow that's filled with joy and laughter and happiness. Nigerian Super Eagles, lifting trophies, building a much better, stronger team that can actually, win a lot of trophies, dominate Africa. And of course, we're going to hear good news, guys. Beyond the Super Eagles, each and every one of us, you guys out there, lots of good news, in store. God has that in store for you. Thank you for sticking around.